sitting here watching this stream today, you cannot underestimate how ahead of the curve you are right now.
Bitcoin looks tired. All coins look hungry.
I'm just not quite sure that Bitcoin has any more solves.
I still think this thing is really worth a lot more than it is.
This stuff's spooky, man. These chaos PRZs are intense.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Solana is highly performant and has the team with the experience to support it.
$4,800 Ethereum. That's a big, big move here.
Whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Welcome back, everybody, to Hero Labs Live. I'm your host, Random Task RT. Nice to see you guys. Welcome back. A couple adjustments on the screen here as we get fired up for our Friday afternoon edition of live streaming. Lots going on today in the market, as always. As always, the easiest opening line to say on a stream. Lots happening. Political news flying all over my timeline since I woke up from my afternoon slumber. Won't comment on it because it's not in my country, and frankly, I don't care. I'm here to look at the market and make some money. Or honestly, lately, rather here to protect gains. Had a pretty good year. Not like an I made it stack and I'm ready to retire, but certainly enough that thinking year over year and where I was in January and all, my balance sheet that I could put together in January and then where it is now, like my main focus is like, okay, well, don't fuck this up. You had a good year. And I think that's an important mentality to have throughout the journey. And so when there's an extreme greed or a greed phase, and I feel like I've done pretty well, I really, more and more lately, instead of looking to the next milestone, instead of looking to the next goal that I could look forward to, just say start off with $1,000 and I wanted to make 10K, and like, okay, once I hit 10K, am I ready to retire? No, that's a sick goal though. But what am I instantly like, okay, I got to make 100 now. And it's a really great way to end up with 3 or whatever. And I learned that the hard way through the first bull and bear cycle that I was a part of, which was that protecting gains between big wins and great opportunities is so critical, especially if you plan to be here long term. Year over year, cycle over cycle, month over month. If I can protect gains and just wait patiently for big opportunities, whether that's like really weird, irrational dips that just need to be bought up, or I think, post May, June, sometime mid-July, right? We saw a lot of opportunity in the market where it felt gross and things looked bad. But as it turns out, picking up anything in those dips ended up being very profitable very quickly, I might add. And of course, I'm talking about right down here, when there was a long and strong debate. Now this is obviously AVAX, we could look at any coin. There was a big debate about whether this was just going to be the end and we had to go all the way down. But of course, anything picked up through this kind of depression phase ended up being an extremely profitable play. So are we at that kind of profitable play? Oh, well, hold on a sec, guys. Got a little error here. I'm going to make sure it's not screwing up our stream. Should be good. Protected memory access block. Yeah, that might be an issue with why the stream's gone off. Missed my chance at $23 ice. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe. Oh. So a whole bunch of things that Windows security is blocking. Just not going to touch those. I'm going to let them go ahead. Hopefully we'll have a really smooth show for you guys today. I'm going to assume, yeah, don't rug stream, says John McGuire. Look, the stream's been pretty good lately. Been pretty solid. I haven't changed a whole lot other than sometimes enabling and disabling firewall pre-stream. I didn't actually today. So if it does rug, I'll be right back and we'll know that I got to get that firewall off. For whatever reason, it likes to blast us. Now look, all that to say, I'm still very long and strong in this market. I'm mostly in the mindset of risk off, in the sense of like, I've taken on a bit of a stable position. It's probably 30%. And that's more like, no matter what now, I feel pretty good. And So 60% long still, and just a little hesitant to race in with those stables again. I'd like having them almost just off the books, you know, put them in the bank, forget they exist. And I'll show you on Bitcoin, because I actually did pick up some Ethereum this morning that I had sold earlier this week. So maybe let's start there. Nothing's really that bearish, to be honest, guys. So I'm not here to be like, hey, you know, get into stables because we're going down. I think we went down. I think we've had a pretty strong dip. I think there's a chance we could continue, but for now, I'm seeing a lot of signs that that was it for at least a bounce, which is what we're getting today, which is nice. We get the full moon. You guys follow the witch online, more for memes. Not to say that I don't think the astrology and all that can be used to trade. I think WD Gann did a lot of that, and I find it fascinating, and he was pretty incredible with it. I think there's something to it, if not just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Either way, it's just not really part of my trade plan. But this is the big sort of SR level, which I guess we should paint as resistance now. Don't want to be too biased. This was the big level that I was watching as we came up, just because it had been sort of the most consistent resistance back in May. We blasted it, we retested it, we came up, and we just lost it. And we're trading below it now. So it's not a great look from that perspective. And I wouldn't be shocked if we need to come in and do something at least like this. The bottom line is, guys, it's been a really good year. And there's going to be, you know, there's going to be some people like myself, I think psychologically, that just want to lock some stuff in going into the end of the year. Maybe reset the books, take a little off into the new year, you know, let things shake out. There's always this talk of tax selling at the end of the year, which is weird because tax selling to offset usually means selling at losses. I don't know who's sitting at a loss on a lot of these coins. They're all up, a lot of them, you know, especially AVAX, like all-time highs. Earlier today at the all-time high, you literally could not be at a loss, no matter when you bought AVAX. So how much tax selling and drama, or just simply heading into the holidays, not wanting to worry about it, feeling like you had a good year, I feel like, I don't know, it might be a lot of that. Doesn't really matter. Today we're going to look for opportunities in the market, things that we can act on now. I'm always going to sit here and talk about, you know, how I'm managing risk, essentially, because it's very easy to buy stuff. And in a bull market, it's usually pretty easy to find stuff that's going to go up. But I feel like the value that I can offer is how to manage risk, how to maintain and grow your stack over time, because that's really where the powerful gains come in. Right? It's very easy to ape into a market when it's hot and make a few bucks. In fact, most people do that, I think. I think most people are drawn into the market during times of mania, during times of things going up really fast, and they probably make some money short term. They probably get in and see number go up quickly. But most of them don't get out with anything. So we're sitting in the PCZ, which I think is a really good area where I started looking at it last night thinking like, as we came in here with some kind of bullish divergence, right? The momentum indicators had started to slow. The volume on the latest dip down was a little bit less. And it got a little extreme, you know, it's almost like people right here selling here, they almost like forgot we're in a bull market. It's like, okay, of all the times through all the, this is where the emotion took over. It got a little bit extreme. For the first time in a while, we saw the fear and greed index dip into fear, which I posted on Twitter. I thought that was interesting. You know, when you're sitting in an extreme greed environment and you get price action that can shock the market into fear, like this is the fear and greed index over what, 7 days? Over a month? Over 3 months? The last time we had prices or excuse me, fear in the market this low was September 30th. Let's go look at that. September 30th. You know, was this a good time to be thinking buy? As it turns out, yes, it was the optimal time to be thinking buy. So one of the things I love to watch when I'm thinking about the tectonic plates of my portfolio, how to shift in and out of high time frame risk, is based on this. And one of the reasons I started paying myself through November is because things were going really well. There was no real concerns on my part, and that's usually an uncomfortable place to be for a trader when I'm used to living in, you know, stressful, unsure places. Buying Bitcoin here, very uncomfortable. Didn't do a whole lot of it myself. Remember, I was waiting for the volume breakout, which never really came, I mean, until later up here. Maybe arguably right here on this day. So I did actually end up getting some back, but I was a little late to that move. No big deal. Point is, when I enter a position, I'm usually extremely uncomfortable. I usually feel like I'm wrong, and you're just like, oh, you know, like I'm overexposed, and price is going down. Like that's where I want to add. I did a bit of that last night. Weirdly, and much to the chagrin of anyone who follows me, because I didn't talk about it publicly, but coming into the week after this, I had this weird feeling. You know, I wasn't paying too close attention to the market. This was me getting back from Lisbon here, and I was kind of sick when I got back, you know, got the shakes, the shivers, body shutting down. And then this was weird to me, like the rally into the Sunday, and I just thought, not any real volume there. So I woke up the next day and we'd already dumped back down. I was like, for fuck's sakes, like such a little BART right here. And so I did dump just my Ethereum and my Bitcoin. I just sold them both stacks, and I don't have a ton of each percentage wise. But I sold them. I was just like, this is uncomfortable. I don't want to go through all my bags and figure out what I'm going to buy and sell. So I'm just going to like dump my ETH and my Bitcoin. So I picked those back up today. Like not even at the lows, like, I don't know, somewhere here. So we'll see. Low 57s, like right around here for Bitcoin. So that was my trade this week. You know, got out. Things look shaky. I was like, holy shit. They dumped. And of course down here you start to think, why didn't I short? Could have cut some other things. But I don't think like that. I just thought, okay, my trade this week was unsure. This looks sketchy. Even if it's bullish, you know, we could have moved down here, which we did. So we want to see us get this level back. Before I get too bullish, that's the level I want to get back. I bought them back here because I just saw it as a trade. I was like, okay, save some money, get back in. Those are stacks that I don't usually trade too much. Bitcoin and ETH, I'm just kind of stacking them, holding them. So that was like my one trade this week. Other than, you know, DeFi farming. I'm LPing some stuff on Joe, claiming rewards on that. I'm trying to take it easy a little bit in the sense of like big new risk. So today we're going to get into some of your ideas. I want to see what you guys are looking at in the market. I'm happy to chart some stuff for you. We can discuss, you can ask questions. That's sort of my opening rant for today. Alan says vape pen advertisements. You need a new one? No, I don't actually. I quit. So there you go. I quit. Ironically, it was so fucked up. I was so messed up from Lisbon. And, you know, like I don't know, I went hard over there and came back flying, felt like shit, and didn't even notice. I ran out of my little vape things in Lisbon on the last day. So I didn't have any, and then I flew home, didn't have any, and then for 3 days I was just kind of like mucking about at home, didn't have any, didn't even notice. And then on the fourth day I was like, but then I decided, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. I already kind of wanted to quit. And so I took that opportunity to just not get more. And, you know, the first 3 or 4 days are the hardest. I'm on day 7 now, and frankly, I'm fucking irritable. But, you know, it is what it is. Rip the Band-Aid off. Excuse me. And God love the government, because they banned the strength that I liked. They had 5, 3, and 1.5%. They banned the 3 and the 5. That pissed me off, but now it's probably why I'm going to quit, because the 1.5% doesn't do it for me. Just makes me want to fucking hit it all day long and never get the fix. So for better or worse, government intervention might have saved the day here. So no vape pen today or ever. Taxes are going to be a major pain for sure. Yep, Topher, it's a never-ending cycle, because if you sell something to go pay some tax, you now owe tax on the thing you sold for the next year. Just keeps going. But it's part of the it's part of the game. It's good problems to have. I might sign up for token tax. I've been on coin tracking. I don't like it. It's not capturing swaps very well, especially coin, like token to token swaps, when you just skip over like USD or skip over ETH and BTC. It just sucks at that, and I don't have time to reconcile all that. So I hired an accountant. I think we're going to go with token tax, but I haven't heard back from them yet. I'm sure the whole world is emailing them at the moment, so that's unfortunate. Party withdrawal, or yep, big time. It was a bender, Nathan. It was an absolute bender. It didn't have to be. I think a lot of people were in Lisbon, just but it's like dinner party. What are you guys doing tonight? There was always a party. There was some event each night. I didn't even go to all of them, but did something every night. 5, 6 a.m., sleep till 2, 3 p.m. What conference? I don't know. I just woke up just in time to make it back for the next dinner. It was a blast, though. It was a blast. I just, the lesson I learned is that I have to learn how to set myself limits. when you're in places like that, it's very easy to rotate between groups where you're always doing something. And like certain people you might have partied with the night before just went to bed, but you don't notice because you're out with somebody else. And then I'll wake up and be like, oh, I haven't stopped in 7 days. So it was testing on my old aging body. Yeah, we're gonna look at the Danny coins for sure. Prop taking strategy on time we can talk about. For me, trying to figure out whether to take a bit off every rebase is smart. You know what, Schuler? Paying yourself in any market generally with a strategy that is preset is usually smart. Nice. Kaizen says he also quit smoking via vaping and later on vaping. Yeah, and I never smoked. That's the weirdest. Just dumb. I never smoked. I hated cigarettes. Got sick when I tried one when I was a kid. Sick again when I tried one as a teenager. Then decided to pick up this vape pen my cousins had at the cottage, and I was just like, what's this stupid thing? And 2 years later, I'm just like, hooked. So now I'm done. What do y'all think about borrowing MIM, AVAX, then swapping staking for Memo? Swapping staking for Memo, yeah, not a bad idea. I did my first MIM trade. Ooh, Joe above 360. Let's go look at Joe. I actually did my first sort of leverage on DeFi through Abra this week. I'll tell you guys about it right now. It's on Joe. Fuck yeah, let's go. Breaking out. So I noticed that the Hxro cauldron had 600k room left of borrowable MIM. So on this breakout, I started really ramping up my Joe exposure, and then it broke out, and then yesterday obviously it dumped, and then here I decided, you know what? Even if it pulls back through here, like my liquidation on Abra is something like, I don't know, just below $1, and I'm just not gonna. It's not gonna get there unless it wicks, and even then I don't think the oracles will catch it, and even then it's managed risk, so it won't ruin me. But I have Hxro sitting in a cauldron. I took the MIM from it. I bought more Joe and staked it as Hxro. So I'm a little levered up on Joe. I just think it's going to go. I think the fact that they launched Banker Joe and their user and TVL is going up, and they're incentivizing and then thinking about perps, using that kind of liquidity and borrow lend on the back end, I think they have a lot of room to grow, period. And after this big, long consolidation, this breakout retest was too much for me to pass on. That's it. So I'm long as fuck on Joe, and actually would like to get a little longer. I would even say it's not a bad idea for me to like rotate some of my Ethereum into Joe. Look at Joe ETH. Look at this chart. This is Joe versus ETH. So if I'm sitting in a bag of ETH, which I am, which I bought back this week after that little sell earlier in the week, why not? What did I sell? I think I sold like 43s, 44s. No, 45 70s. I don't know. Something. It was like it had already dumped, but it was before the nuke. And I sold, and then I bought back, I don't know, 41.70 this morning. So I got a little trade in there. Basically increased my bag by a few ETH. And now, like, why not swap it out for Joe? I don't know. I've been thinking about it. This looks really, really promising. Like if this was the inverse, right? We'd be like, oh my God, it's gonna dump. I think this is gonna run. I think Joe's gonna outperform ETH for the next month. That's all. So at least up until here, I could set some kind of alert, get triggered up there, and then swap back to ETH. Get a cute little trade in, increase my ETH a bit more. I might do that. I think Joe will outperform ETH. I think it'll probably outperform Bitcoin. So then I'm like, do I swap my Bitcoin into Joe as well? Just wrap all that shit, throw it over onto AVAX. And the nice thing is, while I'm sitting in that Joe, I can Hxro stake it. I could even throw it into the cauldron as well, get more Hxro if there's any left. It was kind of running out today, and if it breaks out, it'll run out. If Joe breaks this high, that cauldron will be empty. It's funny because it was empty yesterday when I tried to get some, and then with this dump, they're like 500k showed up. I was like, guys, we're very leveraged, I guess. Danny coins bounced. They're going to do that. We're going to talk about Danny coins. Still got bags. I want to get it a little longer. Do you still have your... Yeah, we all want to get a little longer. When you have a strong idea, like this is guys, this is a consolidation that's been brewing since September. Really peak September, and then just fib pong. Talked a little bit about it on stream 2 weeks ago, I think. Played out pretty close to where I had kind of anticipated it would, which is nice to see. Always nice to see TA just kind of working, and now it's breaking out. So I think there is room for it to just do something like this too, where it comes back in and goes. Obviously, that's possible. Very unlikely. I just don't see any fundamentals that would lead to that. The whole market would have to be ripping down for this to happen. So I feel pretty comfy that if we're bull, Joe can lead a lot of things. Well, let's just put it that way. Yeah, I still have Secret Bag, man. It's staking. Secret is such a big part of my longer term thesis that I staked it, which is, you know, it's maybe a little dumb because I think staking is great when you just want, you know, like I'm a holder, but you want to make a little extra. Then staking makes sense. I'm a trader, you know. I know now every time I stake is not optimal. Like I could have spotted this consolidation breakdown and just increased my bag faster than staking. But it's a lot less work to just stake it. And you know, I don't have a massive bag, so like if anything, come down into here and I can just add. You know, long term, I'm so bullish on Secret. But yeah, like if the air falls out of this and we just come all the way back down here, what a waste. For someone like me who can, you know, who can trade the market, what a waste for me to be sitting and staking, making whatever it is, 30% a year when I could probably have scraped away quite a bit more trading that, but whatever. For now I'm staked. It's like a 20-day unlock, so I'm not rushing to unstake it or anything. But I am still holding Secret and I'm not too bothered with it. I just think that the natural progression to DeFi is privacy first, you know? So what I would probably do, that's the other thing, is like if I am trading this, there's a pretty good risk that I'd end up not in it, like some longer term play when it's like a multi-billion-dollar chain if it gets there, which I think it will. And so I'm risking being out of it. Whereas now that I stay staked, I'm guaranteed to be there and I'm earning Secret each month, each day, whatever it is. Let's look at some Danny coins. Love my Danny coins. Got to meet Danny in Lisbon. We hung out quite a bit. We partied. It was fun. You know, mostly work, to be completely honest. Like not work, but like sitting at dinners, talking to founders is what he was doing. I was kind of tagging along. We went out to a few dinners with him. Really good crowd. Really quality people surrounding that man. I like to count myself among them. It was a fun, you know, it was just a fun week. So spent quite a bit of time rolling with the frogs and time. Look, time is defying gravity. With an APY like that, you need a lot of growth in holders, which we have right here. Look, let's refresh. We cracked 100,000. I took a picture. I haven't refreshed it yet. Let's go see. Oh, 107,000 addresses. This thing is mooning. When I got home early in the week, well, I got home late last week. Early in the week, I checked this. There was 87,000 holders, which I thought was incredible. And then I refreshed it the next morning when I went to tell someone it was 90,000. I was like, holy shit, we're moving. Yesterday or the day before, it was hit 100 and it's already at 107. This thing is moving. So that is the number of wallets, unique wallets, that are holding memo tokens within them. Presumably different people staking. There's probably a lot of people with more than one wallet, sure. But you could say there are, more than likely, over 100,000 people that are staking this coin right now, which is incredible to see. Can we get to 1 million? Safe Moon had 1 million. I think it's possible. Either way, price has been just loving the PCZ, just stepping up, you know, from here to here, dump it back, from here to here, dump it back. Nice buy volume coming in, fairly consistent. Nobody really selling on that dip. Look at that. No sellers, very shitty sell volume. Last time we saw a very shitty sell volume on a dip, followed by bigger buy volume. We ended up ramping up. So I feel really good about time. Now that doesn't mean I'm not skimming and taking bits off. It's a reward that pays you every day. It pays to play. And I don't want to be in a situation where I'm compounded so deeply that I have to like dump price or do anything if I want to take profit. So I've been skimming each day a little bit so that my stack continues to grow over time, but I also get paid along the way. And I think that is the promise of an APY like that, right? It's auto compounding. You know, sometimes you take a week off, so it builds up quite a bit. So away in Lisbon, didn't do a whole lot. And then come back and you're like, oh, there's a little bit, so skim it back down. And so I just have a set amount that I'm like, I won't go below this number. And anything that grows on top of that, if we're in a lull in the market, I might hold because it's like, oh, I don't want to sell at this price. And then as price starts to come back and rally and get healthier, I might, you know, take some off there. All just in the name of getting paid to trade and getting paid to hold, but also, you know, I think that stack is so important in this one because you get paid your rewards based on the size of your bag. So I'm not trying to diminish the power of that. I don't see this going anywhere. Now, even if it rolls down, on the sharp drop, it'll be a net loss. But over time, if it starts to move sideways at any level, you catch up very quickly, right? That's what that big calculator is that everyone was, the spreadsheet. People are like, oh, if I just hold for 1 year and we drop 90%, with the rewards, I'll still be up, or I'll only be down 1%. It's like, yeah. People have to realize, though, you need to move sideways once you've gone down for that to catch up. On the initial sharp drop, the math will show that you are down quite a bit because the rebases haven't had time to catch up. So I don't know that that's going to happen. Obviously, don't know which way it's going to go. But everything I'm seeing points to continued sideways and up. That's all we've seen since the start. Sideways and up, sideways and up. I don't know why that would change. I think the network effect, if anything, is strengthening. And now we've got such a big DAO, and we're talking about what can be purchased with it. There's some of the team is actually using some of that treasury on the back end in sort of like low risk yield strategies on DeFi. So they're growing it even independent of itself. It's just so good. It's just good. And there's going to be, I think there's a good chance that there'll be some deal flow coming in where the Wonderland Treasury is investing in new projects, potentially gaming projects on AVAX. And in those cases, those tokens will become part of the treasury. Their value would then count for the treasury. Time holders get access to that through just the value of time. So much going on. So I don't want to dilute my holdings that much. I really just want to focus on other things. And the nice thing about this, which is what I love, is that during alt season, which is what we've undoubtedly been a part of for the last month or so, since the September lulls, you always run out of funds, right? You always feel like, oh, there's so many coins to buy and I already bought them all. And so this thing just prints. So like some days I'm just like, okay, today's rewards, I will swap into Joe. Today's rewards, I'll swap into AVAX. Today's rewards, I will move over to the ETH chain and buy MC, Merit Circle or whatever, so you can kind of like distribute seeds throughout the market on the part of the daily reward I'm growing. Now, if I had a smaller bag that I wasn't at the level I want to be at yet, then just hold. I got a friend who's just been compounding like crazy. He's catching up to me. Obviously I bought time quite early, so I've got a position that I'm comfortable with and I'm on the other side now. If I was just buying through here a little bit and I wanted to say, like, I think it's like 45 days to double your bag, just staking, probably just do that. So again, none of this can be financial advice because I don't have a fucking clue where you're at. This is just what I'm doing. So time, let's go see ICE. ICE stings, okay? If you're sitting there saying, damn, ICE got me. Yeah, you're not alone. ICE got everyone that just decided to hold visually. Visually, it got all of us. Nathan, I think Joe is currently paying you to borrow stables. That's the impression I got from our interview yesterday. If you guys haven't already, @_Frog Radio, you can check out the interview that Messi and I did with the Joe founder the other day. So he was talking a bit about that. So maybe I should be, if I'm going to buy Joe, maybe I just take those stables instead, borrow against them. I don't know why this isn't loading. That's unfortunate. I think we'll have to go over here. Popsicle. Yeah, so Popsicle Finance, it sucks because I have a chart on ChartX, but ChartX is notoriously not very good. Anyways, really strong. Like, this was so irrational. If I wasn't already balls deep in ICE, this was an interesting place to be thinking about adding yesterday on that, especially at the peak of that dip. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you a few things about ICE. My theories, like, first of all, it was the sweet spot. So all through this, if you had the patience to just be like, I missed it, I'm gonna have to wait for the next opportunity. That opportunity came in hot and fast. Look, let's talk a bit about ICE. First of all, huge percentage of the supply staked. I don't know what it is right now, but at some points I saw it as high as 82 and 85% reported by the team. All ICE staked, at that point. So then what's left to be in the liquidity pools? Because once you're staked, you're N ICE. So what is, what ICE is left? How liquid is it? And when it's not very liquid, some people selling causes an extreme movement in price. And that's really nice when you're on the way up. It's equally as gross on the way down. We go through the launch. I was actually arriving in Lisbon on this day, feeling like a king. Went and shook Danny's hand right here. the last thing I was thinking about is I'm going to go sell all my ice. That was not the trade I'm in. I think, my hold is longer term, and I think multi-$100 coin as they grow and sort of take over the universe with LPing. So I'm not too worried about it, as much as this stung a little bit. Look, I'm not going to lie. Like, this stung a lot. I hated it. I looked at it. I was like, oh, as a trader, this was like a chaos level right here. I was like, fuck. But doesn't matter. Straight shot down. Like, super irrational. Like, oh my God, it's going to be worth so much. Oh my God, it's worth nothing. Like, super irrational price action. And then you get down here and look at the volume. Completely falling off. No volume in the last 5 days of selling. So this last night into the sweet spot, below these lows, like, it just screamed to me like absurd. You know, how is this thing down 70% from highs to lows in 2 weeks? That's insane. After launching successfully and generating $1 million in fees in their first week. Do you know how long it takes most protocols to generate $1 million in fees with a new product? Just to get the users, just to get their product working? Like, this is very successful launch. And so when you find an irrational thing in the market that's absurd, usually you can take the other side of it. Whether that's shorting euphoria, whether that's longing depression or panic. And then you look over here and you see the fear and greed index plummeting, jumping into fear, even though we're like mid bull market, if not late bull market, whatever point, we're clearly in a bull market. So I think ICE was a sick buy in the 20s. I think it's still probably a good one. If it's going to chop here, like strong dip, big bounce, little pullback before we go. You know, I don't think it's likely that it's like this sharp down and then just continue. That seems unlikely to me. Usually after you get something like an Eiffel Tower like this, you just have to find a base and build it. So I think sideways for a little while here is not out of the question. And it's not going to be that clean or cute, but you know, I'm not in a rush. Like, I wouldn't be in a rush to be like, oh no, I missed it, get in. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong and we just rip and just bounce really strong. And then like looking back, this was all just like a weird deviation of stupidness, but it's also possible. But yeah, I love ICE. I love ICE here. I loved ICE here. I love it all through this. I think it's really strong, ready-made product for LPs that are going to want that extra yield. So wait until a couple things, catalysts. Wait until the numbers come out, right? Wait until people see like, oh, I've been LPing here. If I just LP'd into the popsicle finance, I would have made this much more. That's free money. People usually go for that. Once the smart contract risk fears dwindle over time, right? Secondly, waiting for ABRA so that your PLPs can be leveraged. I think that's going to be a very attractive option for a lot of people. And the fact that you can do micro LPing, right? So, I mean, it's on ETH, so maybe not micro, but like for me, LPing was never that exciting because I didn't have the size, right? I could just trade the market and make more potentially. I think LPing suits itself well for like large whales who just want to move big bags around and make a yield. But with the PLPs and the ability to leverage, I think that there's a yield there that's acceptable for smaller accounts. So it's going to open the doors a little bit, not to mention the ease of it. All right, you can even take one token and zap it into a double-sided LP and then just, there you go, lever it up. So yeah, I love what they're doing and I think the chart's great. What's the last Danny coin I want to look at? Spell. I haven't been watching Spell too closely because I'm long on it. I don't fundamentally, and again, like as a trader, I might look back and say, oh, like I should have watched closer. I could have spotted like this breakdown here, right? Where we were going up, making higher highs. And then we made a lower high and then, oh no, we broke down. Like, yeah, there was a trade there for me. I could have cut my bag and bought it back like I did my ETH and Bitcoin, but I wasn't paying attention. I was very complacent. I was in Lisbon with Danny himself. If somebody came up to me and asked me, are those the highs for ICE and Spell all time? I'd probably say 99% not. So then all this is noise. I don't care. Chance to add more, hold, chill, focus on other things like Majo, like the time, all that. So let's see if I can even pull this up. Oh, yes. Okay. Spell right now, price action wise, doesn't look great. We just lost a level. Came in, tagged the reload zone. Not a bad place to be thinking add ever when you're looking at things like this. I think we actually talked about that too on Wednesday. That it was going to come in here, and that's the first place I'd be willing to look. Nice strong reaction to it, but as you can see, for now, bearish retest territory. So let's do this. Same thing I did on AVAX versus Bitcoin a month ago. I swapped back to Bitcoin because it lost a key level. And I said to myself, either it's going to come, oh, it's gross. Either it's going to come down into here, find a floor, build a base, chill. You know, volume will start to ramp up again, and it will break out, and then I can buy whatever retest comes in, wherever that comes in. Could come in here, a little lower, doesn't matter. Just waiting for that. Or as simple as regaining this level. As soon as price regains this level in any way, shape, or form, buying that level becomes a really nice entry for me. So there's really two zones where I'm thinking I'm going to add to my spell bag. I'm not selling what I have. I'm staked. I'm making money. And long term, I think there's no way this marks any kind of long-term high. 3.5 cents. No. So I'm not sweating it at all, other than to say, you know, could I have traded this more optimally throughout? But it is the daily, and you do see these moving averages crossing, so it is probably cool down, move sideways time for both ice and spell. And please, you know, time, interestingly, is the coin that you want to see slow down, move sideways. I mean, yeah, let's moon it, let's go higher, but time moving sideways is an extremely profitable coin. So if any coins need to just chill for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, doesn't bother me whatsoever. And ice started making money this week. Spell started making money this week, both above my entries. Neither that I think are in jeopardy of fundamentally moving negative. I think fundamentally they're both growing rapidly. And time can just do whatever the fuck it wants, except for break this uptrend. That'd be really nice if this uptrend continues. It's just printing. So that's my take on the daily coins. That's it. Now we'll look back at the chat. It was a long rant. Kevin, I agree. It is insane. Time price keeps going up. It's defying gravity. There's just so much interest in, you know, easy to access high yield. Why not? It's fun. It's cute. Apes on AVAX. Yep. Do you think there's truth to the rumor that TikTok has learned about time and that's why there's many wallets and why it's pumping? Well, it's not a rumor. You go on TikTok and there's a lot of videos on how to buy time in Wonderland. So I think there is truth to that rumor. I don't think it is a rumor. I actually went on TikTok and searched for it. There's facts. So it is blowing up. It's getting the TikTok treatment. And why not? It's got everything you want. Cheap, fast, affordable, accessible, high yield. It's a very compelling story. And, you know, we got 7,000 new holders just today. What do you think they're doing right now? They're telling all their friends, look at me, get in here, watch my rewards go up. This is sick. So it's really a question of like, where is that capacity for users? And then, you know, how high do we trade while they all try to jam in? And how does that counteract with all the new being printed? It's interesting. If you guys haven't already and you're enjoying your stay here today and you want to hit the like button for me, that'd be great. I'm just catching up on chat here. Hit the like, smash the sub. We're gonna have some talk on metaverses. I'm gonna be doing some interviews on metaverse coming up in the next few weeks. So if you hit that bell button, you'll know when they go live. It might be live, it might be pre-recorded. Haven't figured that out yet. But I have a few projects lined up that are gonna come on, maybe one at a time, week over week. We'll do quick AMAs. Well, not quick, but you know, we'll do some AMAs. We'll do some interviews. I want to learn more about the metaverse, and if I'm going to learn it, why not do it live so you guys can watch too? Joe Grove, I'm going to shill the music that's playing because it's not mine. It is one of our... Oh, that's not where. There. This is a SoundCloud by one of our very own pit members, so you can check it out right there. It's chill. I like it. It's copyright free for the most part, unless he sampled music that is not copyright free, and we'll find out later. But that's what we wanted on YouTube, copyright free. So he offered to let us use his SoundCloud. There you go. Lily, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome. August says, buy more ice. Must buy more ice. I picked up some 2 days ago. This is a great price if the market doesn't dump more. Yeah, it's always like if the market doesn't dump more is always like a lingering thought, right? I think it could. You know, I think it could. I think it's important to position myself at this time of year. Again, talking a little bit about what we said earlier, but if you've had a good year and you think year over year, quarter over quarter, I think year over year. I tend to just try to say like, let's start the year, let's end the year with more money than I had next year or last year or at the start of the year. So I'm at a point now where I need to lock some in, lock some in, get ready to pay that tax. We're going to have, if anyone who made money this year and locked it in is going to have a tax bill. So putting stables aside to have that tax bill covered, plus, be nice to have a little profit. Music, please, less volume. Okay, yeah, I can do that. That's easy. Hope it wasn't too loud. Let's take it down from 18 to 13. Okay. So we'll do a couple requests now. I already requested the Danny coins, so I did those. ICE up 42% in 24 hours. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So Schuler says, holy volatility. Now, a lot of people online, rightfully so, I wouldn't say bragging is the word, but they were excited to see that ICE was so heavily staked. We're not getting the charts on this one today. That's too bad. Yeah, I don't know why. We'll go back here. When you have a ton of supply staked, everyone have a drink. I did the thing. When you have a ton of supply staked, then you just have low liquidity, right? Okay. Cheers. Glad the music's good. When you have a ton of it staked, you just don't have that much in the LPs, the liquidity pools. So somebody sells their bag, it goes down quite a bit. Somebody buys some back, it goes up quite a bit. So it is going to be a volatile coin, which is really good when you get into like a volatility short squeeze or like a supply shock. There's just not much available. So if 10 new whales discover ICE and decide they want a large position, they're going to have to fight over finding it because 87% of it is staked. They're going to have to go into the LPs and buy what's there, and there's not much. So I think that could act really well on price. So when I see this kind of chart and I see, ooh, V1, ooh, we had a hack, ooh, we're moving along, and then it's just like huge breakout, massive volume, highs coming in on new highs in volume, and then we just dip down into the RLZ, like this is the area where I like to get greedy in general. And then you just ask me, you say, oh, RT, do you think that's like the high forever? I don't know. What is it? That's like all the way into January. Could we do something? And then that's like, you look back, like the way I see ICE, and this is not like, oh, this is definitely going to happen. But the way I see ICE is like, this is like the breakout to, like they just launched their product. No, that was it. Party's over forever. Like that's very rational. And yes, if Bitcoin and ETH and everything else in the world breaks down, this will not end up making new highs for quite a little while. But it could, in a weird way, it could. It could actually do well through a choppy, crabby, bearish market. But it's always like you're barking up a tall tree if you think that. BNB, for example, performed very well during a bear market. Just did. Excuse me. So, do LPs do well? Is LPing popular through a bear? Does everyone just cut their LP positions and go to stables? I don't know. We're going to see. We haven't really had a bear market since all this stuff was invented. I don't think we're going to have a big, stupid, long bear market. I think we talked about this on Friday, but my thesis, if you all care to hear about it, is that there is very little chance that we have a repeat of 2017. We're just in a different market now. This was very gross and unhealthy. This, like, zooming back to this, it doesn't look so bad from here, but like this was absurd. And then you got to ask, like, who was this? Who drove this market up? What were the conditions for this market to shoot up? It was a lot of mom and pop, average people like us, retail traders, just coming in and throwing money at the wall, not looking at charts. There was people just like mortgaging houses through this. It was a very weak market. Very disgusting show of euphoria, of FOMO, and it was a bubble. It was a bubble. Everything went up 10x. Like every last little shitcoin at the top there. You look, new website, new anything. By the end, every single thing was so insanely overvalued. And then they rugged it. When I say they, I just mean like whoever had the biggest bags, whoever been accumulating, and it had no chance to recover quickly. This thing was so unhealthy, it was going to take a long time to clean up. It just was. Now, I can't say that I knew that at the time. I wish I knew that at the time. I didn't really, I learned through the bear market. I went to the TRI course and learned all this stuff about TA, how cycles work. But looking here now, yeah, number go up, but like number took a really nice long break here. Number got healthy, right? Now, people say, ooh, nice healthy pullback. They're not lying. They're not just coping. It's not just like annoying people online who's like, oh, it's a healthy pullback. It is healthy. because you want the people holding a coin, holding an asset, to be comfortable with their entries and to be like, this is where I bought, this is where I'm going to defend. And so when you go up, 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 and you get people that are just buying because number go up, they all sell because number go down. They'll sell underwater, they'll sell at a loss, they don't care, they just want out. The profile of wallets that we saw accumulating through here, while all of the sort of unhealthy holders, the quick money grabbers up here, dumping at a loss, short-term Bitcoin holders, and I'm going to just pick on Bitcoin because that's the analytics I looked at. Short-term Bitcoin holders selling at a loss through here, being accumulated by long-term Bitcoin holders all holding in a profit. That's healthy. You know, to me, this is a base builder. This is a stair step now to another leg. Now, doesn't mean because we failed here that we have to go into a 2-year bear market because it's the end of a 4-year cycle. It's possible. I really don't see it. I think that's the wrong thinking. I think that misses the bigger picture. Now, this is a nasty candle on the weekly. So, you know, don't be shocked if we start pulling back into, you know, some grossness into the low 50s. I'm not saying we will. I'm just saying don't be shocked if we do. Don't be like, oh, RT said we're not going into a bear market. Doesn't mean we can't just have a really gross, like this is a key reversal kind of looking thing. Like took back 3 weeks in one. So we want to see a strong close. Anything above any of these green candles into the close would be really nice. You know, we did tag the moving average, so there's that. Yeah, but don't be shocked if, you know, if we just do something like this through the end of the year and we have to come out. That's like March already, but you know what I mean? Like, don't be shocked if we're just not going to be moving the way you want short term. I just think it's going to be, I think the general profile of the market is likely headed into a much more like maybe healthy, mature, like up only kind of up into the right type market, you know, however that looks. I just don't think it's going to be like bubble flat, bubble flat, bubble flat, like we kind of saw for the 4-year cycles. I just don't see that. There's just too much competition. And we have it on good authority that there are multiple sovereign nations accumulating this stuff. You know, anti-inflation measures, big companies, corporations that haven't even announced yet, and other ones that already have announced but are probably looking to accumulate more. Can, you know, those OG Chinese whales of old come in and dump the market and play with it like they used to? That was always the narrative, right? Like, it's all the old Chinese mining whales that, you know, like if they dump 10,000 Bitcoin here just to tank the market, how confident can they be that they ever get those 10,000 back? It's hard to source a lot of Bitcoin right now. OTC markets, mining companies, they're jammed up with orders. So I don't know that we see, you know, we'll ebb and flow, we'll sell and buy, we'll blah, 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 we'll fear and greed, but I don't know that we get the full washout. I don't think we do. Okay, long story short. Really don't think we do. Let's take a look at CRA. I don't know what the hell it is. Carbata should have been in this one. I'm bullish on AVAX, bullish on gaming. Carbata looks good. Actually, for how much I've heard about it, it's not as parabolic as I thought. Maybe there's still time. Maybe there's still time for me. In fact, maybe this is the time. Let's go look. Let's get a nice consolidation wedge looking thing here. Let's fit it. Let's draw it a fit because it like looks cooler when you do that. Ooh, there's a little squeeze happening here. So we're right at resistance, not an area where I'd want to buy, but you know, where can I get in here? Well, break out and go, or come back down and then go. So there's a few areas where I'd be thinking long, pretty much at this price, but not at this moment. 85 cents. 3 to 6 month bear, maybe. 12 max, maybe. I mean, I don't want to punt times out there where it's like, I think this, I know that, because that's going to help. That's going to make me take action in the market based on assumptions and, you know, predictions. I'd rather just see, like like this week when I sold some Ethereum here, I just thought this shit looks heavy. I don't trust this, you know, the Sunday into the Sunday close and then just starting to dump in the Monday. I was like, I smell bullshit. You know, like this is a lazy ass, rally. Like, ooh, and then we just kind of like Sunday and then dump a bit. I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to roll over. And so I sell. I didn't sell because it's like, ooh, I'm predicting a bear market. It's, you know, I'm going to trade the charts. I'm going to trade the trends. I'm going to trade the sentiment. When I see extreme greed turn into just greed and start to get really tired, I'm going to sell some things. Not everything. Not even like 30% of my shit. I think that ETH and BTC made up 10-20% of my shit. So, but that's how I'm going to trade whatever we get next, whether it's a bull or a bear or crab. You know, I think people who are trying to call it boldly, you know, like, that was a fun bull, I'll see you in 2 years, and they just sell all their shit. I think that's such a, I mean, hey, if they made money and that's whatever, but I think it's the wrong way to do it. Oh, wrong chart, Dr. Helmut said. Krabata delayed bad chart. Okay. Yeah, delayed. The thing about that one, okay, let's go here. Trader Joe. Ooh, okay, yeah, delayed. Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay, so definitely too late for me. It's too bad. Sad face. The thing about chart CoinTrader Pro is that they are delayed. This stuff is based on CoinMarketCap feed data, so it's very slow. It's great for deep history, but it's bad for minute-to-minute trading. Well, that's unfortunate, but I guess based on what I just charted, I wasn't going to get in anyways. Or was I? Right here. Oh no. Oh well. I'd heard about this one for a few weeks. Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing, right? You wait for the breakout and then just buy the retest. Oh well, it was perfect. It was the perfect. Would have already been up 82%. Nice trade. Nice trade, anyone who's in this one. I mean, sideways moving crab on a thing called Krabata on AVAX. Now I do feel a little bit of FOMO. Wish I was in that one. That'd be fun. Be prepared. Okay, trades mostly against AVAX. Yeah, I think that's what this is, right? Crap. Yeah. All right. STRMX. Yeah, we could take a look at that. It's an old one. Haven't heard that one in a while. FTM. Look, FTM is coming into a level. Did we look at it on Wednesday, Krabata? Dang it. So easy to say after the fact what you would have done. And then you look at it for real and you're like, I actually didn't. But like I said, my brain has very much been focused on, let's see if I can ride out the end of the year without getting much of a drawdown. If the bags I have left, which are plenty, end up making big moves up and I make some money, like great. I can live with not making more, like I can live with reducing my potential returns. I cannot live with let me put it this way. I can live with minimizing my gains. I cannot live with maximizing my losses. I'd be very upset with myself if I got rinsed into the end of the year. So whether or not I think it's going to happen, I'm going to take that scenario off the table. Show me. Now, so FTM's not quite where I wanted it to be. If I want to get FTM, like this is the PCZ, you can see it there on the chart. Let's get it a little more bold. The 3 and the 5, love that clean price action. Closed above, drop back in, now it's testing above. So chop around in here all you want, Phantom, because that's an area where I could look to get long. Like whatever it does in here, and then just say it breaks out of that, there's a nice little entry. So I think 220 could be an entry, but not here, not after like a sick bounce day. That's just a great way to instantly be underwater through what should be a retest of the local lows before anything anyways. And then for a proper load up, I was highlighting on Wednesday that this is a nice level. Lots of resistance here before, should act as support. Kind of a stilt in price action here, I think could get filled in. The VPVR is not very supportive until we get down there, and it also happens to be the 618, which is the entry to this green reload zone. So let's get rid of this because it's in the way of my idea. And maybe we just end up with some bearish retests and then more down. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by this across the board, that today and the bounces this week are not the end of this down move. You can see, it's like this weird, it's hard to see on the chart, but like you can feel it in the market. There's a lot of weak ass hands in the market. A little pullback, everyone's like, Rah! That's usually the signs of a weak market. And so part of what I do for analysis is just try to like take all that in, whether that's in chats and on Twitter. And I don't like to rush to conclusions and be like, everybody's bearish, everybody's bullish. But I feel like everyone right now is scared. And that's indicative here. But even before it flipped to fear last night, there's just this sense of like every little red candle on the 4 hour, I was seeing people talk about like, well, if that was the top, and so there's a lot of people, end of the year, end of the cycle, right? End of the 4-year cycle, if you believe in that, which thus far you should, because that's all Bitcoin's ever done, 4-year cycles. I think there's a lot of room for volatility here. And there's a lot of room for people to just lose faith in their bag on a very small pullback. So in other words, yeah, let's rinse it out. Let's clean it up. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if we get into something like that. Would be a little painful. You know, the ETH I bought back today, the Bitcoin I bought back today are in small profits. I might even skim those right back. Just now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, don't need to be super long on anything new. And there's no better feeling than being in stables when it's time to like have stables. Like not only to miss the ride down, but then to be able to buy the blood. Buy the blood, don't be the blood. So if I haven't said it once, let me say it again. Be able to play both sides of the market. Especially if you've made money through this. I mean, this is a sick trend. I better be able to buy something after this. Can't buy stuff if I don't pay myself. So I did a bit of that this week. And this bounce that is basically market wide right now, it is either the beginning of, you know, chill for a sec and then continue, and there's like, oh my god, what a sick dip, and shake everyone out, or it's going to be seen as the chance to escape for people who were underwater, who were feeling the pain. So watch this bounce very closely on whatever coin you have. If your plan is to like maybe get out or whatever, there will be signs of, you know, hey, that was just a nice big fat dip, now we're going to continue. Or holy shit, everyone's selling the throwback. I don't know. It's harder. It's much easier said than done. It's very hard to watch those like, everyone have a drink. It's very hard to watch these throwbacks come in. Like let's just say we, you know, bull flag and then like when you get up here on the lower time frames, there will be resistance. Like someone's going to sell that. And so if you're looking at it on the 5 and it goes here and then it is poof, and then you're like, okay, confirmed, that's definitely, you know, high time frame throwback, we're going down, and then like, you know, and then it can just go. So careful looking at order books in the moment on the 5 minute and shit. That'll psych you out. So I don't know. I'm gonna be really long on this market no matter what happens here, because I have positions that I kind of can't sell or won't be able to or don't want to. And I think that's okay, as long as, no matter what happens, as long as I build up a stable position that I'm comfortable with, telling myself, that's it, everything else is up for grabs, everything else could disappear, everything else could get rinsed 50-70%. If I'm comfortable with that, then that's as much stables as I needed. I think I'm there now. I could always use a little more, but yeah, we'll see. And the nice thing is, you know, if we're not going into a 2-year bear market, what are we doing? Could we flatten out into the end of the year and clean things up and then just build a base in January, February and have a nice big fat spring rally? Yeah, we could, and I think that's what we're going to do. Regardless of what happens end of the year, I think we're in for another big rally. Like the next time that I would be disappointed if it doesn't happen before then, big fat rally would be in the spring. Crypto loves to rally in the spring. May, June, markets in general, but you know, March, April, May, into that. So if we get some depression through January, February, make sure that I recognize that for what it is, which is an opportunity, as was today's fear. I think today's fear was an opportunity, so I bought some of it. But yeah, kind of rambling now, all over the map, same old shit. Let's go for a couple more, guys, and then I'm gonna hop off. I got a special dinner tonight. My fiance's birthday happened when I was last night in Lisbon, and so when I came home, I told her I was going to take her out to this really special place on Saturday, and then we got there, and my body shut down. We sat down, and I was like, oh god. Took like a sip of champagne, and just went to the bathroom, and was like looking in the mirror, like, what are you doing? You can't even see straight. So I went back up, and I told her regrettably that I was like, babe, we gotta go. I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, I need to lay down flat. So we went home, and I got into bed. It was just like shakes and shivers. It was like, it hit me so hard that night at that dinner. So we're going to go for it again tonight. I'm going to make it up to her. So I better go get ready for that. Can't screw that up. Keeper looks good right here. Keeper's in the pump chaser zone that I drew on Wednesday. So that means, you know, it's the first time it looks interesting since this big breakout. This is kind of like why I invented this tool. It's like crazy breakout, crazy volume. If I'm really FOMOing in, I can wait because this will probably come in, and here it is. So if I needed Keeper in my life, this is the first place where I'd suddenly be interested in buying it. Obviously, being a trader, the better the entry, the better. And so maybe I'm adding a little here just to get rid of my FOMO, but ultimately maybe I'm waiting to do anything like load the cannon down into something like this. If it's going to do that, I don't know. You know, if Bitcoin and Ether are a little weak, this would probably happen. And then you'd forget about this because everyone's like, it's a bear market, don't look at altcoins right now. And then Keeper's just chilling here quietly through the 800s, and then it's like Forex with Andre, wow. So that could happen. We'll see. HTR, yeah, let's check HTR. I'm a fan of HTR. I don't actually hold any. I traded it in the start of the year, generated a free position. Regrettably, whoops, god damn it, have a drink. Regrettably sold that free position, which is fine. I mean, not regrettably. For a while, it was like smart because I sold it and then it all went down. But I haven't bought it back. Maybe I should. HTR is at a really interesting level. First of all, this is the video. I made the Chaos PRZ video on this chart. And look at that. I love that. So in the video, it was like, maybe it'll go up there. And then it was like price was here when I made the video. And then it actually worked. So that's really cool to see the tool working, especially in the demo video. Big, long, drawn-out consolidation. And now it's ramping up with nice volume, breaking out to highs. New L1 kind of thing. Shocked that I didn't see that myself, because HDR has been on my radar and my timeline. Bitcoin Trapper is a big HDR bull, HTR, and I follow him, so naturally been hearing a lot about it. Yeah, high time frame, there's some pretty cool levels up there if you take into consideration the more recent. Let's drag this over here and clone it here. Yeah, I think if we break to highs, which we've just done, I mean, this is a really nice looking chart actually. Because yeah, okay, I didn't get the, you know, the reload zone here, and I didn't catch the move thus far. So I'm coming in at, you know, P&L 0, cost base is high, but we've just claimed this like all-time high level, right? And so it's like price is basically saying, I'm ready to explore higher. I've broken into price discovery and I'm now consolidating above previous all-time high resistance. That's usually in a bull market, which is what we're in. Don't forget that. That's usually an area where it's good to get kind of greedy. Now, I would have to then sell. If I was going to trade this here, I'd have to sell below that. That's a 21% drawdown, just that. So there's a lot of move there, but obviously it's still good if I'm holding it for a 100% gain. But if I was going to add anywhere through here, first of all, I probably wouldn't add right here. I'd probably wait for like the next little red and see if I can grab that. But I'd be selling below this pin, this little thing here. Maybe we zoom in and find a little better PA to work with. Yeah. Maybe the cat's out of the bag. Candle body highs, extend. Maybe it just broke out and somebody who brought it up on stream is a godsend and we should just shut up RT, stop talking and analyzing it and just buy the goddamn thing. Right here, risk to here. Maybe even risk to here if I want to wrap it up to 13%. More likely I get stopped out, more likely that, or guaranteed that it's like less damage. So like if I put my stop here, what I do is I increase the chances that it will get hit. Obviously, it's closer to where price is now. But I decrease the risk that I'm taking on it, the size that I would be losing. So instead of 21, I'm losing 13%, and that means I can put more size into it. And that's something that's very hard to figure out as a trader, where you want to be. You know, do I want to have more winners, and they'll be smaller? Or do I want to get stopped out a lot more, but take more size on my positions? That's essentially like the philosophical question. And then the only really way to figure that out is to test it. Trade, you know, maybe even keep, you know, trade the one you're trading, track that one, but then also track if you had done it this way, what would have happened. 50 trades of each, figure out which one is optimal, which one paid you more money. That's like the work that comes with trading. Most people don't want to do that. They just want to buy, sell, and make money. Good luck. It's possible. But collecting data, analyzing data, and acting on that data is much more powerful long term. So this looks pretty good. I like HTR up here. I feel like it's that one where I won't actually go buy it, but I do actually have some funds on KuCoin. Maybe I go ape them in. We'll see. But I will be setting that stop loss, and I'll probably use this one. I don't really want to see it come below here at all. So thank you for sharing that idea. I think that's not a bad one. Yeah. Yeah. No, William Harris, it wasn't COVID at the restaurant. I would have thought that too, but I had 2 COVID tests like on the way home. So if it is COVID, then they suck. JPEG'd. Yeah. ETH breaking rising wedge bearish. RT, have you ever looked at GEEQ? No, have not. Oh dang, do you have videos explaining PCZ and Chaos PRZ? I do. Look them up. You can Google Pump Chaser Zone and Chaos PRZ. Both of those will bring up my face, which feels cool because it's not a very huge channel, but they're the only videos in the world with those tools. So I get to be front and center on Google. There's so many new L1s now. It feels like every day there's a new one launching, probably very close to saturation. Who's going to use them all? Yeah, Schuler, true, but the market's not saturated with users yet. So, maybe 5% of the world is even holding crypto right now. I don't know the actual number, but over time that number will grow. I think there is a ton of room. And I also think there's room for personally, how many do you use? I use 6. I mean, I use 1 day to day, 2 ETH and AVAX, but I'm dabbling in 6. Solana, Phantom, accidentally sent some funds over to Fusion once. Took me a while to get them back, but I did on Uniswap. Meant to go to Phantom, went to Fusion. So I think there's room, and there's always room for another good one, like a better one. HTR claims to be that Hathor. So we'll see. But that's not even that new, Schuler. If you were around in 2017, you will remember there was the next ETH, the ETH killers, the faster, cheaper than ETH Rise blockchain. There was literally 200. They were just kind of clones of ETH or just whatever, IOTA, EOS. There's just so many of these things that are claiming to be smart contract platforms, and only a handful of them are really getting users and TVL and contracts written. And so I think there's going to be tons more. I think there's probably ones that'll be very popular that haven't even been created yet. That's the exciting thing about crypto, right? The best opportunities ever probably don't even exist yet. It's a true story. A lot of people get caught up looking back at old charts saying, oh, I wish I bought there. I missed something. I missed something. I missed this. I missed this. Dude, keep your eyes peeled, because things this year that didn't exist last year have minted millionaires. And analyzing this market, getting in tune with my, your portfolio, spending the time to learn this stuff, managing risk. Oh my God, manage the risk. Oh my gosh. Managing risk through fear cycles like we had in September, like we had in the spring, then again, through September, and now we're having another one in November. Managing risk through that so that you can really pay yourself through this. Buying, selling, that kind of thing. Buy, sell. You can play that game, but most importantly, just not get wrecked during this. So you end up staying down there. That's the key. Year over year, I think there's a lot of opportunity coming up. It doesn't exist yet. All right. Okay. Ethan, I like your name. So we're going to take a look at GEEQ, but I'm nervous. I don't like looking at weird stuff. Well, it looks pretty good. Damn it, take a drink. It's Friday. All right, last coin of the day, the GEEQ. Maybe we'll end on jokes. I actually want to see what it did while we were doing this. Yeah, GEEQ looks weirdly good. From a super high time frame, just zoomed out weekly. That's usually what you want to see. Just big fat W round bottoms. Not all that bad. Looks to be kind of hungrily pressing higher through this. Yeah. It's way late for me. It's in a short reload zone given this range that it's in. It's parked in the short reload zone. Well, it's actually just entering. So, it's late for me, especially with something unknown. I'd have to really look it up, get some conviction, so that if it dips into here, I'm not freaking out. But for me, randomly as a TA thing, I would be oh, random coin that's down here. I get interested. up here, I get cautious. Because I assume range until further notice, and especially when I don't know the coin. But yeah, if I'm holding it, it's definitely been doing well. But I wouldn't be shocked to see some of these levels get tested on the ebb and flow of the way things go, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, STRMX, damn it. Said I would do that one, so now we must. Holy shit, yeah, Storm died for a long time. It was sitting on a Binance. Still remember that one. OG coin. Nothing too exciting here, just chilling. Just chilling in the reload zone. So like I was just saying, not a bad place to be thinking about accumulating a position if I like a project and it's in like, it was here, now it's down here, it's on a discount versus what it recently just was. You know, in April, people were paying 8 cents for that. Now you can get it for 3. Will it ever go back up there? It's crypto, baby. It's a good chance. If it doesn't rug, it'll eventually end up higher. It's usually the way things go. But again, that's such a scant and if not crass an assessment. But I can say, you know, put in a low at the 88.6, broke out, rallied, and now is just kind of chilling. So not that exciting, right? I mean, this coin hasn't moved since August 11th. That's basically the way you can think of it. This coin has just done nothing for August 11th. It's a stable coin with a little bit of inflow, a little bit of flux. So I think there's better options for me looking from a TA perspective. But if you are saying, you know, STRMX is dope and something's coming and user bases are growing, there's other data we could look at, right? Maybe it's a chain and it has wallets that are growing exponentially. I don't know. I mean, if you have that data with this chart, any data that shows massive inflows of users, wallets, transactions, whatever their metric is for success, if that's going crazy right now and this chart's like this, oof, opportunity. But I don't know. I don't have that data. I wouldn't show you something garbage. Yeah, I appreciate that, Ethan. I thank you for that. And that's why I looked at it. Because I'm like, look, you mentioned it a few times. You have a different perspective. You probably figured out something that you see as an edge. I think GEEQ chart looks really good. It's in a bullish trend. It's just coming into a caution area for me as a trader. Bro, what website you use for charts? I use a few. TradingView is the best. Get the premium package if you can. It's totally worth it. You get this VPVR. You get a few other features like lots of alerts. For these charts at cointrader.pro, charts.cointrader.pro. And that basically uses coin market cap data, so you can get a ton of different charts. It just doesn't update very quickly. So these are good for charting like dailies and weeklies, 4 hours, but not for charting like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And then ChartX Pro is my love it, hate it relationship because you can chart Joe and Uniswap tokens fairly good and live. And you can even see the trades themselves and click on the wallets that made the trades and stuff. That's great. You can have a watch list, but it's often just down. It's just not working. Like we're gonna go to ICE right now. Let's see. Will it load ICE? Loads the ICE. 31% up. Yeah. No, I'm not looking at Flux, guys. I gotta go. It's 420. It's always 420 somewhere. Yeah, TradingView with more chains would be nice. They're pretty good at listening. We should reach out to them. We actually we've had Pierce Crosby of TradingView on the show. Just call him up, be like, Pierce, add Trader Joe quickly, please, now, must chart. I bet we could do that. I bet, you know, they're busy over there, so I bet if we put that on their radar, I think they would probably be responsive to it. Okay, last time I said this, we doubled our like output. Maybe now we can double it again, get full likeage. If you guys did like the video today, please let me know by liking it. Smash the bids. It's an interesting time in the market right now. We've had a strong bull since September. And so it's time for me, you know, in general, this sucks saying this now after like a little drawdown or big drawdown, depending what coin you're in. But this is a pay myself moment, the last, you know, post Lisbon. Most of my bags peaked during the Lisbon trip, so I didn't take those profits, which is fine. You know, like I said, Ice and Spell, really long game for me. But I think it's important to pay yourself late in the year after such a blast of a year. Having said that, if you asked me where we're going to be at the end of the year, if we're ever going to see higher prices on things like ETH and some other coins, I think yes. So, but we are at a moment of fear right now. We are in a moment of fear, so that is an opportunity, if I'm bullish, to be adding. But on the whole, I'm only adding because I'm in a position of strength. I'm sitting in stables that are yielding on, 7, 8, 9%, and that is going to cover me no matter what happens. So if you're not in those same positions, then my strategies won't work for you. Keep all that stuff in mind, guys. This stuff is so tricky. And at the end of the day, most people are just better off holding in general. Not necessarily buying highs like we are at right now, high time frame, to hold for years. But generally speaking, I think trading is an advanced art. So if you're not going to take it seriously and you're not going to actually journal and you're not going to actually go for data and find places to learn it legitimately, I would caution you. It's hard stuff. Really hard to stay profitable over time. But thanks for joining me today and coming to learn this stuff. No false promises here. If you don't work hard, you're going to get roasted in the market. But I think at the end of the day, we can all make it, because this whole thing, next 10 years, looks extraordinarily promising. And I'm happy to have you guys here for the ride. Whatever you do from now until next time, always play from a position of strength. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.